Lemonada.
Hello, we're here for More Happier, a podcast where we talk about getting happier. Join us for some weekend listening. It's observations and reflections, but a little bit of a looser weekend vibe. Hey, Elizabeth.
Hi, Gretch.
Today we'll talk about one of the items on my 25 for 25 list and how that's going, and also something that was on Elizabeth's 25 for 25 list and how that's going for her. But first, something making us happier. Elizabeth, what's making you happier these days?
All right, Gretch, this is very summer, I feel like. What is making me happier is rereading all of these novels from the 80s that I love. Big 80s blockbuster bestsellers.
Ah, like what?
So I reread The Other Side of Midnight by Sidney Sheldon, which I remembered loving, but I had no memory of it whatsoever. Now I'm reading Scruples by Judith Krantz. I think Judith Krantz is probably like the writer of the 80s blockbuster novel, right? Or one of them. And I have on deck to read next, I also got Princess Daisy by Judith Krantz.
I remember loving both of those novels, especially Scruples. I want to go reread it right this second. Does it hold up?
Maybe not as much as I expected, I will say, but very enjoyable. It's just fun to be back in that world. I think I was motivated to do this because I read this novel by Elaine Goldsmith Thomas called Climbing in Heels, which just came out, but it was set in the 80s. So it was like about 3 female Hollywood agents in the 80s. So it got me sort of craving like the 80s power suits and the big hair and jewelry and all of that. So it put me in a mindset to want to go read these books. And it's funny because I'm reading Scruples, which is about this boutique in Beverly Hills called Scruples. And of course, when I read it initially, I'd never been to Los Angeles, certainly never been to Beverly Hills. So it's fun reading it now and understanding all of that.
Yes. No, it's like everything when you go back to it, if you can remember your earlier experience reading it, then the parallax is very interesting.
Yeah. So I'm really having fun with that.
Well, it's funny because here's a spoiler alert. I'm going to talk about the fact that our parents were with my family for the 4th of July. One of the things we did is we watched a couple movies from the late 80s. We watched Working Girl, which is
so good.
So good. Every line is funny. $6,000 and it's not even leather, you know?
Yeah.
And then we also watched Broadcast News, which is so incredibly prescient.
Well, I think Sarah and I were just talking about that on Happier in Hollywood the other day because we've been talking about crying at work.
Yes.
Whether it's okay or not.
Yes.
Because there's the famous scenes of Holly Hunter, who was the boss, would go in her hotel room and wrap up the telephone, the cord around the telephone, and then just bawl really hard for a couple of minutes, and then she'd go out and be fine. And that always cracked me up.
Do you remember the scene where there's frantic everything, and she's yelling, she's like, "Don't tell me about parking problems," like she's barking away, and the boss is standing there very quietly, and he goes, "I had no idea she was this good." Anyway, I can go on and on with great lines for both of them.
Yes.
And then I realized that When Harry Met Sally is also of that vintage. Like they were all came out in the space of a couple of years. So there is something about that late 80s. There was a particular vibe. If you like that vibe, then you really like it. And if you don't like that vibe, then it's probably not for you. But if you like that vibe, probably things that aren't even that good, you enjoy.
Yes.
Because you're like, I like that flavor in my mind.
Yes, which is your thing, that there are certain things that people like no matter if they're good or bad. And there are other things that people don't like, whether they're good or bad.
Oh, Elizabeth. So here's the quotation that you're thinking of by G.K. Chesterton. He wrote, "The public does not like bad literature. The public likes a certain kind of literature and likes that kind of literature even when it is bad, better than other kind of literature, even when it is good." And I just think I like that kind of movie, even if it isn't very good, because I just like it.
Yes.
So true.
Although the ones you mentioned happen to be excellent.
They happen to be excellent. Yes, they are.
So what about you, Gretch? What's making you more happier?
Well, the 4th of July, as I said. So one of my big Project Empty Nest endeavors is to try to make the 4th of July kind of a major family holiday, because In the past, we really didn't have us and do anything that special for the 4th of July. Of course, our mother's birthday is the 4th of July, so that made it a little bit special. But I just thought it's just kind of a good family holiday. It's right kind of in the middle of the summer. Everything slows down around that time. Well, now we have this house on a lake. It felt like a very 4th of July opportunity. And so I was like, okay. So we started small with the first year, and this was the second year. And I felt like, okay, this is the summer where I either needed to really make it happen and get it set as a family tradition, or it might just drift away. You know how sometimes you have these little attempts and then they just fritter away, especially if there's nobody else wanting to do it, where I would say the rest of my family was happy to participate, but they weren't rubbing their hands together, coming up with 4th of July ideas to double down. One of the things I thought is it'll feel more festive if we have family. And you guys couldn't come because Jack had camp, but mom and dad came, and that was special because it's mom's birthday. So one of my things is let's all jump in the lake together. So we did that ceremoniously. That was really fun. I played Great American Songbook because I feel like that's kind of American and that's music that I really like. Even though I'm not much of a music person, I do really like the Great American Songbook. Okay, so Elizabeth, you know how in our family there's the thing that happens where a lot of times there'll be a big meal and mom will forget to serve something.
Yes.
Oh, we forgot about the green beans, or oh, we have the rolls, but we forgot to put them out on the table. It's just something that happens.
Yes.
And not every meal, but I would say fairly every few years, we just forget. So I said to Eliza and Eleanor over and over and over, we have to have a red, white, and blue food. So what is it going to be? And they're like, okay, it'll be strawberries, blueberries, and we'll make homemade whipped cream. And I'm like, that's great. Completely forgot to serve it until the next day.
Oh.
But it was still fine, and we had it, and that was great. But it was just, I was like, that's good. That feels very typical family that we would forget to serve something. So it was just really fun. It was beautiful. It wasn't too hot. So we just sat by the lake and talked and drank coffee and ran around after the dogs. And it was really great. And then we watched broadcast news, which wasn't Jaws, which I think Jaws is like the official.
Yes.
But it did feel like we all watched a movie together. So it was sort of like a family activity. There's only so many times I want to watch Jaws. Yeah. I know it was an incredibly important movie in the history of movie making, but I get it.
Well, it looked incredible. I mean, I saw a lot of videos. I was asking everyone to send me videos, and they did, and photos. It looked amazing. Definitely next year, I want to be there.
Yes, good.
Next year, I'm going to plan to make that our 4th of July.
But see, this is why a tradition is really important, because if you have a tradition, then people have it in their minds. And maybe they can't come this year or that year, but they have it. But if you don't stake your ground, then there's no reason in advance somebody would think like, oh, well, this weekend is significant. Let me call around and see what's going on in our family for that time. So I feel like I successfully passed the hurdle of the second time. Yay. Yes.
That is excellent.
Yes.
And it looked like a real party, a real gathering. So I give you props, Gretch.
Excellent. Yes, I'm very happy with that.
And maybe a little bit easier than Thanksgiving. I think it's less stressful.
It's much less stressful because hosting the big meal does not come naturally to us, but stick some flags in the ground. I haven't done this yet, but I should do this. It's like look around for things that are on sale right now for the 4th of July because we don't really have any stuff. I don't want to have a ton of stuff, but I would like to have like if there's some bunting and maybe like a platter and a few key things to really change the surroundings.
Oh, I love that. Yes. I bet right now would be a great time to check out the 4th of July decor.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, well, Gretch, coming up, there is something I have been meaning to ask you, but first, this break. Introducing the new Dell AI PC powered by the Intel Core Ultra processor. It's not just an AI computer, it's a computer built for AI. That means it's built to help do your busy work for you, so you can fast forward through
editing images, designing presentations, generating code, debugging code, running lots of apps without lag, creating live translations and captions, summarizing meeting notes, extending battery life, enhancing security, finding that file you were looking for, managing your schedule, meeting your deadlines, responding to Jim's long emails.
Leaving all the time in the world for more you time and for the things you actually want to do. No offense, Jim. Get a new Dell AI PC starting at $699.99 at Dell.com/AI-PC. How those ahead stay ahead.
Hey, Julia Louis-Dreyfus here. If you listen to me on my Wiser Than Me podcast, you probably already know that I'm an investor and an evangelist for the Mill Food Recycler. There are a lot of reasons to love Mill, but for me, it's all about the impact. Keeping food out of the garbage is one of the most powerful things we can do to help the planet every single day. We're talking banana peels, carrot tops, old takeout. When that stuff heads to the landfill, it becomes a huge driver of climate change. If you already compost, great. But of course, there's the smell, the flies, the running to the curb every day with a little leaking compost bag made of cornstarch. That's where Mill comes in. It makes keeping food out of the trash as easy as dropping it in. It can handle nearly anything, from a turkey carcass to like 20 avocado pits. It works automatically while you sleep. You can keep filling it for weeks, and it never ever smells. Mill makes dry, nutrient-rich grounds that you can use in your garden, add to your compost, feed to your chickens, or Mill can get them back to a small farm for you. But you kind of have to live with Mill to really get it, and that's why they offer a risk-free trial. Go to mill.com/wiser for an exclusive offer.
All right, Gretch, we are back, and there is something I've been meaning to ask you. You mentioned we were going to be talking about your 25 for 25 list in the intro. Watercoloring every day is on your list.
Yes.
And I want to know, how is it going?
So here I am. I'm an upholder, and I'm also an all or nothing kind of person. So doing something every day really appeals to me. And I really did not think that this would be that hard to do. And I also decided, well, if I really couldn't do it, I could watch like a video about color mixing or something. So I really wanted to make it manageable. Then we got Taffy, our beloved little puppy. And I was like, okay, I'm going to take Taffy time. I'm going to take 2 weeks off, and this is Taffy time. But I have to say, even since the 2 weeks were up, there have been many, many days when I haven't done it. Well, one thing is, I'm such a sleep zealot that I will never stay up late to watercolor, because if I'm really sleepy and it's time to go to bed, I'm like, the most important thing is to go to bed. I don't want to experience the tightening that some upholders can feel. And I certainly have felt this, where you feel like you're trapped in the red tape of your own creation because the rules have gotten so tight. Mm-hmm. But it does make me very uneasy. And some days it's like every minute I'm kind of on the hop. You know what I mean? It's like, this one, that one, I don't know. I know that if I really threw all of my will into it, I could stick to it. But that would take a lot out of me, and I'm just not sure that I want to do that. I know that I don't want to do that because I have not done that. So the thing with Taffy, she is getting a lot more regular in her habits, and we're understanding it all better. Mm. So I really am trying to edge back into doing it every single day, but I have not done it every single day.
Well, here's what I would say. A couple of things. One, what you really want to do is incorporate watercoloring into your life and get better at it. And you are doing that.
Yes.
So it is a success. The goal is to do that. And I think doing it every day was your way to do that. It wasn't that you thought it was important to watercolor every day. It was that was how you felt you would achieve your goal.
I just worry that if I don't do it every day, it'll just start to feel more like a burden. Weirdly, things seem to me like a burden more if I do them some days than if I do them every day. And when I was doing it every day, it did feel easier. But I think you're right that I can say but the point of it is to stay engaged. And so if some days that just doesn't work, that's okay, as long as I'm still achieving my ultimate aim.
Actively.
Yes.
But it reminds me of the War and Peace slow read, because I will read my one chapter a day of War and Peace every day for 30 days, and then I'll completely forget for 3 days.
Yes.
For absolutely no reason. And I think maybe it is just if you're running around and you just simply never have that moment to say, oh, what do I need to do? Oh, read my War and Peace chapter. Yes. And then I'll read 3 chapters and catch up and go back to the one a day. But it just happens.
It is the funniest thing. This, when I was writing Better Than Before, one of the things that I think is very, very puzzling, and nobody ever really talks about this, is you can be doing something so consistently and enjoying it, not even like something that you don't enjoy.
Yeah.
And it can just fall out of your head. You can just completely forget about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why it is really good to use scheduling and cues and the strategy of pairing and all these things that are meant to help you just have something in your mind. So my college roommate was telling me about something that her husband did that I've sort of been thinking about, that this is a kind of approach that maybe could work for me. And it's sort of exactly like what you're talking about with War and Peace, which is the idea of, did you think of it? Because to me, it seems like there's a difference between, did you think of it and say, oh, I'm going to procrastinate, I'm going to search for a loophole, I'm going to make excuses for myself and justifications for myself and let myself off the hook in a way that I might regret, or did I simply not think of it?
Right.
It just simply wasn't possible in a day when I was running around, where like it just simply wasn't possible, or it just didn't occur to me. Those to me seem different in terms of commitment to an aim. And my roommate said that with her husband, I don't even really know what it was. He was like a wrestling coach and he had some kind of elaborate wrestling thing. In my mind, he had like a giant boulder with a rope tied around it and he would drag it from one side of the yard to the other. I'm confident that is not exactly what he was doing. But anyway, it's something like that. It was some like very intense 20-minute exercise. And I said, oh, what's his regimen? And she said, he makes himself do it when he thinks of it. And to me, that was like, that is so strange and random. And as an all or nothing person, that seemed to be very unsatisfying. That's sort of what is working for me with watercoloring, which if I think of it and I can do it, I do it. And if I simply don't even think of it and can't manage it, I don't know. It's approximate.
Yeah.
You know?
But it's just hard for you because you are all or nothing and you are very into what you say you're going to do, you do. So I get it. But I think you definitely are making some nice watercolors from what I've seen.
Yes, I'm definitely enjoying it a tremendous amount. And I am finding it very creatively satisfying. So I've just decided to let myself be a little bit looser on this than I would usually choose to be. And in that way, I feel like I'm letting myself down. But on the other hand, I'm like, but maybe I'm not letting myself down.
Maybe that's evolving.
I'm accepting myself and also expecting more for myself. So I am hopeful that now that Taffy is a little bit more integrated into our household routine, that I'll be able to pick it up again. But we shall see.
You can report back. All right, Gretch, we have 2 spotlights this week. What is our spotlight on a tool?
Well, our spotlight on a tool is that I am excited to team up with Bookshop for their 30-day summer reading challenge, hosted right in the Happier app. It goes from July 15th to August 13th. Any reading counts, novels, magazines, just a few pages before bed, picture books to your children. You can track your streak while building this wonderful happiness-boosting habit. Plus, there are $500 gift cards and book prizes up for grabs, which makes it even more fun. You can sign up for the challenge on the homepage at GretchenRubin.com.
Plus, we've got a podcast recommendation for you, one we think you're going to absolutely love. For the Love with Jen Hatmaker. Jen is a New York Times bestselling author whose life's work is helping women show up for their lives with honesty, joy, and courage. She believes that women living in freedom are the answer to what ails the world. And honestly, same here.
I recently joined Jen to talk about secrets of adulthood and how to live a happier, simpler life. If you're into real talk, good laughs, and a little soul fuel, For the Love is a must. Listen and follow wherever you get your podcasts.
Coming up, there's something Gretchen's been meaning to ask me, but first, this break. Let's talk about the Defender 110. It is a vehicle built for the modern explorer. Gretch, I have a friend who's extremely adventurous and she loves her Defender 110. It's a vehicle that looks tough because it is tough. The Defender boasts an exterior design for optimum durability. It has a raised hood and sculpted grille that give the Defender 110 a modern edge.
Yeah, it has 3D surround cameras with clear sight ground view that let you see underneath the vehicle and anticipate obstacles in rough terrain. Clear sight rear view offers an unobstructed rear view even when you can't see through the back window. Driver aid technologies make driving and parking simpler. Intuitive driver displays are customizable to your journey. Design your Defender 110 at LandRoverUSA.com. Visit LandRoverUSA.com to learn more about the Defender 110. Explore the Defender 110 at LandRoverUSA.com.
This is an ad by BetterHelp. Workplace stress is now one of the top causes of declining mental health, with 61% of the global workforce experiencing higher than normal levels of stress. I know here in Hollywood, many of us are very stressed out about work. And taking a holiday is great, but it isn't a long-term solution to stress. Don't forget that therapy can help you navigate whatever challenges the workday or any day might bring. I know for me, when I am the most stressed out about work is when I most need therapy. It helps immensely just to talk about things and get another perspective.
As the largest online therapy provider in the world, BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/GretchenRubin. That's betterhelp.com/GretchenRubin. So, Alyssa, there's something I've been meaning to ask you. I've been meaning to ask you this. You and Sarah, your writing partner, were talking about it on the Happier in Hollywood podcast, which is your novel, because you did all of this tremendous work toward your novel. And then your pesky Hollywood career intervened and you had all this other TV writer work to do. And I had been in the back of my mind wondering how you were thinking about the progress on the novel, which was on your 25 for 25 list, if I remember correctly.
Exactly.
So what is going on with that? And how do you balance that? I mean, that's really hard because it's writing, but it's a completely different kind of writing. It's really important, but it's not urgent. It's that whole problem.
Yes, which we have been talking a lot about. Well, what we did is last year we had no work July, where we really did not work in July. So this year we decided to have novel July, where we would just work on the novel in July and not do TV work because we really want to finish the novel. And it's what you say, something that can be done at any time is done at no time. So we're like, we have to put this on the calendar. So we put it on the calendar for July.
Yeah.
We even gave ourselves the last week of June as a reviewing period so that we could get up to date on where we were and the next steps.
Yeah.
Now, having said that, although yes, we are making some progress in that we have re-engaged, we have not been as focused on it as we would like because just other things came rushing in that we had to pay attention to. Now, again, urgent versus important. You know, it's very easy to get caught up in what's urgent and neglect what's important. And in this case, we would say the novel is very important, and it is. But it's hard because also you don't want to miss an opportunity that you might really want.
Sure.
So Hollywood is traditionally extremely slow in July, which is one reason that we picked July. But for some reason, it's just been a little more active this year for us. But we have re-engaged, we've reread, we're figuring things out. I mean, I got to tell you, it's a lot better than I expected when I went back and reread it from the beginning. Yeah.
That's so nice.
I was like, not that it doesn't need a massive amount of work because we're also making so many whole cloth changes. But I'm like, this is entertaining. You know, like I enjoyed reading it. I was really dreading reading it because I'm like, oh, it's just going to be awful and it's just going to depress me. But I was like, I want to work on this because it's actually got a lot going for it.
Oh, that's so great. A lot of times people say, if you have the luxury of time, it's really good to put a project aside for a certain amount of time to give yourself distance and perspective. Like you kind of had forgotten what it was and you came to it fresh. Then it sort of, you see its strengths and weaknesses more clearly. Did you feel like you did sort of benefit? Because there is also the downside of having to reacquaint yourself with a project, which can take a lot of time.
Yes. The downside is you're going, okay, what color hair does this person have?
Yeah.
But yeah, the upside is you do have distance to kind of see what's missing and what's there. Stephen King in On Writing says he puts a first draft away for, I think, 6 weeks. Which we never do in the TV world, almost never. We usually don't even put it away for 2 hours for that reason. So I do think it's been helpful to put it away, but we just need to get through it. The other funny thing, Gretchen, which I appreciate from Sarah's stepmom, Anna, had read what we had so far. And Sarah said she keeps asking her, when are you finishing the book? Because she really wants to read the rest. So I appreciate that.
I mean, that's the highest praise.
Yes. So we like that.
Oh.
So Sarah's like, we have to finish this just for Anna so she can read it.
Can I just say, I've never met Anna, but I've heard a lot about her over the years. And I have to say that she is a lovely person, but she doesn't seem like she would have the kind of guile that would know that that would be the thing that would be reassuring to a writer. Like she wouldn't say that
Right.
just to make you feel good. I would know that. I would know that as a writer, that would be a nice thing to
Yes.
hear. I don't think that she knows that.
I take her at her word that she genuinely wants to read the rest. I agree with you.
Yeah.
She wouldn't say that just to be nice. So we appreciate that.
Well, you guys really have worked so hard on it already. I mean, you did a major rewrite already.
Yes, but we've never written the end. We've never gotten to the end. We did a major rewrite on the first 3/4, but we need to get to the end.
And is that because you know that you were going to make changes leading up to it and the end is so hard? You're like, why would we waste our time doing something that might have to change?
Yes, exactly. It just seemed like it didn't make sense. But now it does make sense to get through an end. So we will be doing that.
Well, with nonfiction, I always write the introduction last.
Of course, because you need to know what you wrote in order
Yes.
to write the introduction.
Yes.
And I do think the end is going to be hard, parts of the end, because there's a big action sequence, which I don't like action sequences in any form of writing. So
But you know what the end is.
we know a lot about the end. Let's put it
Yeah.
that way. I wouldn't say we know everything, but we know a lot about the end.
Yeah.
Speaking of, how's your project Empty Nest going? You're writing a book, and I think you may even have a deadline.
No, I don't have a deadline because, my thing is like as a nonfiction writer, something that I do that's very odd is that I often write a huge amount of the book before I try to sell the proposal because I'm always like, I don't know what I'm going to say. I have to write the book in order to know what I think and what I argue. And I used to try to do it the other way because that's the way most people do it. And then nobody ever wanted to buy the book. I remember with Happiness Project, people were like, it doesn't sound that good. I'm like, you're not getting it. This is going to be amazing.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'll just write most of it and then you'll see. So I have a huge amount of stuff done in what will ultimately be after revision, what I hope will be the end. And then I have been working on the proposal. So I have done 2 major rewrites on the proposal. So I'm hoping to go out with that very, very soon. And then it will hopefully, if I do sell it, which I'm very hopeful that I will, then I will start to have a deadline and everything. So 4th of July, nobody's doing anything. So I think the world is springing back to life.
I was just going to ask, because I think people are interested in this. With books, like, would you ever sell something in August? It just seems like you'd wait till September.
Well, that's an interesting question. And I don't know, because part of it is like, are all the people going to be around? Like, could you get the attention of the people who need to be decision makers? That can be hard in August or like in the holiday season. And so that might just be logistically hard. One of the things that I didn't understand as a reader is that books come out at certain periods. There's big summer fun. And so you would want your book to come out at that time. Or maybe people are like, ooh, this would be a great Father's Day gift. So you need it to come out around Father's Day. So sometimes there's sort of a logic to a book coming out at a certain time. And usually you have about a year or 18 months to write a book, the way I write a book or the way I would approach it. And so you start to do the math backwards. And so if your book is perfect for spring cleaning and you miss the spring cleaning season, then you might have to wait a whole other year.
Yeah.
If you want to bring it out at that time. And so there might be a sense of urgency during some periods, like we want to make sure that we get this on track by a certain time. But I don't know if that's going to be true in this case. But I should be thinking about that all months aren't created equal in terms of getting people's attention or people buying books.
Yes.
And so that's a consideration.
Interesting.
Perfect flexibility. Yeah. And then there's other things like what other books are coming out at the same time. And, anyway, there's all these factors, as always.
So many considerations.
So many factors.
All right, Gretch, what is our quotation this week?
Oh, this comes from Mark Twain from Following the Equator. And I think this is so funny. And as a happiness bully, I definitely know this feeling. He wrote, "To be good is noble, but to show others how to be good is nobler and no trouble."
Very funny.
I love that. So, Elizabeth, are you feeling happier?
Yes, I am feeling happier. Thank you to Chuck. If you haven't subscribed to Lemonada Premium yet, now's the perfect time, because guess what? You can listen completely ad-free. Just tap that subscribe button on Apple Podcasts or head to lemonadapremium.com to subscribe on any other app. That's lemonadapremium.com. Don't miss out. Bye, Gretch.
Bye, Elizabeth. The best time to start a happiness project is 20 years ago. The second best time is now. Well, Elizabeth, I am dying to read this novel, but I do feel like I want to wait until it has a beginning, middle, and an end, because I think that a reader can only read the book for the first time one time.
Yes.
And as your sister, I want to read it just like, I'll say like, this part's really great, or I think you could do this part better, whatever. And so I want to have that experience.
Yes, but you will be called into action, no doubt.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait. Are you kidding? I cannot wait. Anna and I are very excited.
You're demanding this novel.
Your public demands. You're like George R.R. Martin. And I'm just like, where's the book?
With only 2 people caring.
From the Onward Project.